OK, let's start with the big breaking news. And Thomas Tuchel is the new Chelsea head coach. Let's get straight to the club's training ground this evening and join Gary Cottrell, who's been braving the elements for us all day today. Gary, Tuchel in, and he's currently at the training ground. What's happening?
Yeah, we expected the official announcement, didn't we, today? And it has come a little bit later than we thought, but about 10-15 minutes ago the club announced that he was indeed their new manager. He spoke about how delighted he was to be working in the Premier League, how delighted he was to be trusted by Chelsea, how delighted he was to be meeting his new set of players, and that's exactly what he's doing at the moment. The lights are out here in the Surrey countryside, but a little way down the road over there the floodlights are on as he takes his first training session. He and the players arrived just before 5 o'clock this evening. He had passed his COVID test at that point, so was allowed to enter the Chelsea bubble. They will have had a meeting before the training session started just to say a few words about, I'm sure, what he expects from them. And now he's looking at them for the first time at close quarter. Some quality players. He'll be deciding what his first 11 is going to be, I guess, for the match against Wolves tomorrow night. That's something that Frank Lampard was criticised for not necessarily knowing what his best 11 was. What's he going to do with defence? What's he going to do in midfield? Who does he prefer up front? And of course, getting those results is what is on the agenda now. That is no mistake what the club have told him they want. They want him to challenge this season for the Premier League title. That was made clear in that statement that came out 15 minutes ago as well. So Thomas Tuchel is in town. Thomas Tuchel is in charge of Chelsea. First challenge tomorrow night at Stamford Bridge. Wolves.
Gary Cottrell live down at Cobham Forest. Thanks for your time there, Gary. Cavi, Gary spoke there about the need for results. It is a club, Chelsea, that demands good results all the time, as do most clubs, but Chelsea in particular are quite ruthless when it comes to enforcing it. What are the main issues, do you think, in terms of facing Thomas Tuchel at the club?
How long have you got? Look, there's a long list of things that he needs to fix, and I'm not being disrespectful to Frank Lampard, but obviously there were reasons why he lost his job as far as Chelsea are concerned. And if you were to make a list of the issues Tuchel has to deal with immediately, I think obviously the first thing he has to do is lift the mood and the morale in the squad. A lot of those players will be very upset. They will be feeling very low that Frank Lampard has left. A few of them may be happy to see the back of Frank Lampard, but I think the vast majority of the players will be feeling very down. So he needs to change that dynamic in the squad straight away. And then when we're talking about issues that he has to deal with on the pitch, what is he going to do about Kepa? World record fee for a goalkeeper, what, 75 million pounds? He is sitting on the bench. What is going to happen with Kepa? Is Mendy going to carry on being the number one? I think he almost definitely will carry on being the number one. Then, what is he going to do to get the best out of the players who are underperforming? And I'm thinking specifically the two German players who came in the summer on massive transfer fees. Timo Werner. How is he going to get Timo Werner believing in his own ability again? How is he going to find a place in his team for Kai Havertz, who at times, when he's been playing for Chelsea, looks totally lost? Then we've got the whole issue of the centre-back partnership. What is his best centre-back partnership? Is he going to use Tony Rudiger again? Obviously, Tony Rudiger was frozen out for long periods of time by Frank Lampard. Is he going to use Kurt Zouma? Is he going to use Christensen? You have to assume that Thiago Silva, somebody he knows from PSG, is going to be his first choice centre-back. And then having a settled midfield. Chelsea have so many options. He has to find what his first choice midfield is, and of course up front, who's going to be his main striker? Olivier Giroud, who still offers so much, but obviously he's getting to the end of his career, or Tammy Abraham, who has scored more goals than any other player at Chelsea for the last 12 or 13 months. Then, quickly I'll run through other things he needs to sort out. Don't fall out with the people above him. We saw he had problems at Mainz. He had problems at Borussia Dortmund. He had problems at PSG. He has got to be very, very careful that he doesn't make those mistakes again. Get up the table. It is not good enough for Chelsea to be 9th or 10th in the Premier League table. They were expecting to be in a position to challenge for the title this season. He needs to get them back into the top 4 as quickly as possible. Also, 2 quick points. What is he going to do with the young English players? We saw Frank Lampard give those players a chance. Is he going to continue to believe and nurture players like Mason Mount, players like Reece James, players like Callum Hudson-Odoi? And the final point I would make is beat Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. They've got this big game next month and at the beginning of March as well. If they were to drop out of the Champions League, if they were to be knocked out, I think people would start asking questions about Thomas Tuchel, because one of the reasons he's been brought in, because he has a good record in the Champions League. So that, I think, is quite a comprehensive list of what he needs to do. Obviously, he knows what he's getting himself in for.